Hi, and welcome to Gogo Diaries Story Time. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the story.
You are saying this is us.
Right, exactly. So I
Yeah.
wanted black women on it as well, but I didn't want them to be seen to be working, or we can also just have fun and just do everyday things.
Yeah,
So
I've noticed.
yeah.
Also have fun.
So that's what I wanted. So just having a fun product, and also that's the kind of way. That's generally something I'm comfortable with also talking about, and that's how my brand is.
Yeah.
Sounds as well on Instagram, and if you've
Yes.
seen that as well
Yeah,
as how
yeah,
I
yeah.
talk on Instagram.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I know.
yeah.
I like the way you always say, this is this person who is doing this,
Yes.
but would like to think.
Yes.
That
Oh,
she's-
the images.
Yeah,
the other
the images.
Yeah.
I love the
Oh,
images.
thank you.
I really do.
Thank you.
Yeah. So eucalyptus honey, where did you get it?
So this harvest was sourced in Chimanimani. As you may or may not know, well, I'm sure you know, eucalyptus is a gum tree. So originally it's from Australasia. So it's a foreign tree.
Yeah.
for
It
Zimbabwe.
drains
It's
the underground
a
water.
hazard.
Yeah, it's a hazard. Yeah.
It's a biohazard. There's a lot
Yeah.
of imported botanicals can
Yeah.
be, but it produces a really lovely honey. I work with
It's medicinal as well.
yeah, it's very medicinal. This one's really smooth and just like kind of like eating toffee.
Yeah.
So this is from Chimanimani, and this is from the harvest from last August. So it's like probably the last jar of this. It'll come into season again this coming August.
So that's Chimanimani.
Yeah.
Then the next one, this is much clearer. It looks more like apricot jelly, you know?
Does. That's
Yeah.
true.
And this is Nema Sanga.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
one's a tricky one because I renamed it.
Yeah.
I have
I
trouble
remember you
pronouncing-
asked me these names and I'm thinking, what am I?
yeah, I was.
Now I'm seeing the
Yes. So that's Nemasanga. I have
Yeah.
trouble pronouncing the original botanical.
Yeah.
What is
yeah.
it? Veraneuthera polyanthus.
Yeah. I can't even read it because I'm not wearing
Let me
my-
your glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, Veraneuthera polyanthus. So
Yeah.
the story with this one, it will also explain the name, is that originally the plant came from Brazil, and it was taken to Mozambique to help with honey production, and then the seas flew over into Chipinge and Chimanimani again. So Nemasanga in Shona just means Nemasanga.
Yeah.
In Shona just means by chance it kind of
Yeah.
all came together.
Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah.
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 And so my partner actually thought of this name, and I thought it worked. It worked really well.
We just bumped into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know this also is another plant that could be. Some people don't really like it. I know commonly it's called known as mupese pese.
Yeah.
Which means
yeah.
it's just everywhere.
Anything.
Anything
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
Because it grows really wildly, but it does produce a really lovely light and really floral honey.
I like the color.
And yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
So different. As you can tell them together, they're totally different.
They're totally different.
Even the consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much so.
Yeah. So let's look at this dark one. You know, when I was growing up,
Yeah.
there was a lot of the dark honey. I now understand why.
Okay.
At home.
'Cause you were living-
Kwamarondera.
Yeah.
Because of all the Msasa trees and whatever.
Right.
But I always thought the honey that we had at the village was not so clean
Yeah.
and not so nice because of the color.
Because of the color.
You know, I think I have to confess it's probably a result of colonization.
It's white is right. The lighter, yeah. I mean, it comes up in different ways.
Yeah.
The lighter something is
It's
better.
I'm embarrassed to
Yeah.
actually admit that,
Yeah.
but I didn't value this color of the honey. And this is Miyombo.
Yes.
This is Miyombo. Yeah, and I like the pink bees and the green bees,
Yeah.
the colorful bees, and the saxophone.
Yeah.
Can you talk about
So
it?
this one is the only honey made from indigenous Zimbabwean botanicals.
Really?
So this one, the Miyombo woodland can comprise of not all of these, but some of Masasa, Mutondo, Mujanje, and Muchakata.
Yeah.
So you were saying that when you were growing up, it was this color from Masasa trees.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, this is these are both foreigners.
Yeah.
The botanicals from this one. This is the only indigenous one. So I get really excited about this. It's got really like a molassesy smoked taste.
It
it's
does.
beautiful.
It tastes different.
It tastes so different.
Yes.
It's beautiful. So.
Yeah.
And I know a common question I get asked is, oh, some people are set on having either a runny honey or a set honey, but I mean, all real honey will eventually crystallize.
Yeah.
It just depends on the fructose content. So for this one, this got more fructose than Masanga, for example. So
Yeah.
eventually this will crystallize as well, but
Yeah.
this
It
does
will
it faster.
take longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
and it's
But,
also so thick.
but when I was growing up, the creamier the better.
And by creamy you mean like the set one?
The set one.
Right.
Yeah. And then the last one. Wow, I love this one. I just love the flowers. Oh, this is wildflower?
Yeah.
Wildflower? And the bottle is so small.
Yeah, because the reason for that is because that's actually an infusion. So I've infused it with chili. And it's a small bottle because as it's infused, you don't want it to last a long, it's got a shorter shelf life basically than a pure honey.
Yeah.
Because when you start infusing honey, there's a chance that water can start being produced, and water can cause honey to ferment, which isn't good for you.
Yeah.
So the smaller the bottle is, the more likely people will just finish it quicker than giving them a whole bigger bottle.
jar.
I've got another one I've infused with cinnamon. Another one I've infused with ginger, black pepper, and turmeric.
Yeah.
Because I like playing around as well, so
Yeah.
I just try and play around and see how it goes down. So
Yeah.
that's the infusion.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
And your market,
So as in where they are.
where do you sell?
Okay, so I
Whom
sell.
do you sell to?
Okay, I sell most directly. I have a two-market system.
Yeah.
In that I sell these glass jars mostly in like farmers markets, in small stores. I really want to sell to people who actually care about honey, and as I'm not going to be able to supply honey all year round, I can't because it's not in season all year round. I don't want the pressure of having to, have a quick turnaround with the bigger supermarkets. So mostly
Interesting.
in small markets. I also supply to H-Town Gelato. They're an ice cream company, and they use the wildflower honey, the pure one that's not here, to make their Greek yogurts and honey ice cream.
Wow.
And I also supply to some restaurants as well. They use the honey in their dishes. And then in my neighborhood locally, if somebody wants, as I said before, part of my motivation was to also make it affordable for people. So I know that generally selling these jars in Harare, I've got a limited market, not more. It's not really affordable by the masses. So if someone has got a container, I will sell them honey per 100 grams.
Okay.
So the same way, for example, if you want a banana, you can just go and buy one banana.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy a whole bunch to have one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to transfer that to honey. So some days you may only be able to afford to buy 100 grams, but maybe you've got a cold, or maybe you actually really like honey. So I sell 100 grams for $1.
Wow.
If you bring me your own container, I can just fill it up for you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my marketing model and who I'm selling to at the moment.
So intentionally,
Yeah.
you are a small market person.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself growing? Would you like to grow?
Yes, I would like to grow, but what I'm also conscious about is this thing of natural products being on demand doesn't make sense if you want a natural product.
Yeah.
Because sure, like for example, tomatoes, you can get them all year round, but how are they going to taste? I know in the UK you have tomatoes all year round and they can taste
Awful.
so bad.
Yeah.
When things are in season, nature knows what it's doing. Things are in season for a reason. There's a reason why with this really hot weather we're having now, we have watermelons.
Yeah.
We're not going to have watermelons in winter. It doesn't make sense to have watermelons in winter. We'll have other things in winter.
Yeah. If you manage to grow them in the winter, they won't be as nice.
They won't be as nice.
Yeah.
It won't be
They
doing
need
what
the
it
sun.
should be.
They need
Right.
the heat and the sun.
Right, and then for us to have them, it's hydrating us. In winter, we don't need as much hydration. We need other things. So, so in terms of growing, I do want to grow, but I want to grow in a sensible way.
Naturally.
Naturally, but I don't really want to be chasing after a capitalist model.
Yeah.
So I don't yet know what that means, to be honest. It's just something that I'm cautious about in the way that I'm growing. What does that actually look like? Because I'm doing this because I really enjoy it and I enjoy what it means. I don't want it to become something I know I have to like run on turnstile trying to produce honey for.
And tell me, without going into figures and details, are you able to live off honey?
So far, yes, I am.
So it is something that is actually a viable business option.
Yeah, it is. I think a number of things that help that is the way that I'm living here. It's very different to my outgoings here are very minimal compared to my outgoings in London, for example. Very minimal. I think it's my target audience, the people that buy my honey. I'm able to price it at a certain point, which then also affords me to do the 100 grams for $1 kind of thing. But there's just so much. There's just so much like life here. Like for example, growing things at home means I don't really have to spend money on vegetables and things. I think I spend most money on internet. Zimbabwe is so expensive for internet, and I need it for my business. Fuel and just I guess buying dried goods. Otherwise, I don't really eat as much meat here anymore. So that also reduces the cost.
So you're able to live. And if you wanted to be intentional about it, you could actually boost the business. But you are choosing to slow down.
Well, okay, I just want to boost it in the right ways because part of my business model is also educating people about honey. So there will be times, for example, I don't have honey in stock. I just don't have it. One, I'm a small business. I can't buy tons at a time. I can only buy bits at a time. And secondly, it's not in season all year round. You can't harvest as much during the rains, if at all, or during winter. And also the bees need honey. So I'm now working on ways to expand my business, giving like other products that aren't honey. But for the honey side of things, I don't really. I'm still trying to figure out how to boost that in a sensible and sustainable way. Really.
Because there are a lot of honey producers that are actually crying for a market. So should it come to that, there will be people that will be very happily sell their honey to you.
I would love to keep buying more honey. I'd love to export as well. But like I said, it's managing people's expectations because I don't know if the big supermarket chains are going to understand that for 2 months of the year maybe I won't have honey. The smaller shops do that. But I think there are a lot of those kind of groups now where people are actually thinking about what am I eating, especially with these last 2 years. What am I eating and how am I eating it and where's it coming from? So it's those groups and hopefully they're the ones that grow because then that will enable my growth as well if those groups are growing.
So you're a natural product person. Next stop?
I guess. Next stop, well, okay, without giving away too many secrets.
No, you shouldn't. Say it safely. You're protected.
I'm protected. No, I'm playing around with, for example, like I said before, I started selling in plastic jars because that was the only thing available during the peak of lockdown. I didn't want to. Then I moved on to glass. Glass is better for the honey, but there is another product that's really good for the honey that I'm working with, a material. So then I'm working on that. So I'll let you know when that's done.
So we can look forward with excitement. And having somebody so bubbly about Zimbabwe in the current environment, what is it that gives you a smile every day? Because I've been here for 4 months now. And I'm about to go back. And the first sentence is, it's not working.
What's not working?
Zimbabwe is not working.
Who says that?
People.
People, they do say that.
People. So it's like, what are you doing here? So, and here you are. You are cheerful, you are happy. it's the same environment,
Yeah.
right? What is it? What is the secret?
Well, you know, Tete, I think we're similar, and maybe this is something I've just learned from you in that I can totally understand somebody who has a 9 to 5 job and has school fees to pay and has family to look after and XYZ ABC. I can totally understand why they're saying that. I would be really insensitive and out of touch to think, why on earth would someone think that about Zimbabwe? It makes sense to me. But I think myself, just like you have, we're not in that
Space.
We're not in that space. So when I was talking earlier about the room Zimbabwe has to flow,
Yeah.
it's being without that space.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would be the same way I find London can be restrictive and too structured. Those structures are also here for a valid reason, colonialism. So those structures are only here.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to move in that, it's tight.
Yeah.
It's restrictive. So I think being given opportunities in which I don't have to do that, those burdens aren't my burdens.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have other challenges day to day. I don't think they can compare to those ones, though, honestly. Just frustrations that can kind of build up.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm trying to build something in the spaces that Zim has. I think that's what allows me to be happy to be here.
Yeah. And tell me, what would you say to a lot of young people, kids growing up in the diaspora,
Yeah.
given your experience?
Yeah.
Would you encourage them to come home?
Yeah, I would. I would say come and try it. If you can, just come and try it. Like give it a good try.
Yeah.
And come with like new ideas. Come ready to listen. I think sometimes what I see is sometimes like this idea of status or progression. You can end up just replicating what's in London and doing it here, but there's so much space for creativity here, and we have our own things that have nothing to do with the UK and stuff. But, come with your ideas and come willing to listen. So come. In short, come. Yes.
Come.
Yes.
And to young people in Zimbabwe, there's a lot of frustration
Yeah.
and anger sometimes because they find themselves in that space where they feel they cannot make a difference. They cannot create space for them to be able to survive.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
I mean, I really think some of the pros of like with the curio industry, for example, some of the pros of lockdown was that because there weren't so many tourists, the artists were able to just create things, create things, without a demand of having to produce something for a tourist. And so I think a lot of times in Zim, what I'm seeing is people aren't really responding to needs. They're responding, if you go to town and you drive through, you'll see the same person, but people saying the same thing, phone chargers and whatever. How many phone chargers do we need? But there are other things we do need, and I just think it takes that time to just think, because design works best when it responds to a function.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to solve? What are you trying to do? And then work backwards in that way, rather than just doing a default.
So we need to be in a creative space.
Yeah.
We need to open our eyes. We need to listen.
But yes, exactly. That takes time, and that's not afforded to everyone, I know. But ideally, we're human beings and we are creative naturally.
Yeah.
So I just think it needs a bit of time and patience and listening.
Mutsa, this has been exciting.
Thank you.
I know we can talk.
We can talk.
Until
We've
the
been
cows
told to
come
wrap
home.
up.
So but this is Mutsa. This is my niece, and on Instagram, she is known as Huchi.
Yeah.
So you look for that on Instagram, and you find her. I love her posts. I really do, and.
Thank you, Tete.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. You too.
And I want to see you grow.
You will.
And just blossom. And as I go home to enjoy the wildflower and chili, what can I say? Except welcome to my village.
Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.